Some people's whole personality is politics. Know what I'm talking about? Like this makes up their whole uh, being. This is their whole existence. Like there's nothing about them outside of that. Like they can't relax and chill. They don't really have a day-to-day life that doesn't include some post on some, complicated issue. And it's like they don't understand the nuance of existence or understand that there is aspects of life outside of political discourse. And motherfuckers will argue with you and say, well, no, there's not, because, well, you benefit because of this and you benefit because of that. Well, then I guess nature itself is political because there's certain shit in your DNA that you didn't ask for, that you benefit from, and the fact that you were born somewhere you didn't ask to be born, it's a little silly, okay? And my biggest issue is, look, what I'm trying to say is, I'm done with society. I'm done with these people who walk around like they're carrying a clipboard, like they are, you know, trying to compute your existence or something, like fact finders and fucking it's like you have to spell yourself out no matter where you go to these people. You can't just sit on a park bench and fucking relax. And there's this overcorrection of shit. You know what I mean? Like I like I understand, wanting to be updated on the latest, you know, incident of shit. But it's like it's this 24-hour news cycle that's just it's destroying people. It's flooding their brain with just junk mail of traumas. And it's not worth it. You can't possibly care about every little thing in detail at the same motherfucking time. It doesn't make any sense at all. I'm just not with it, okay? And, I'm not against people seeking change, but a lot of y'all motherfuckers, a lot of y'all are funny, okay? Because you pretend that you're not bullshitters. Behind closed doors, you bullshit like everybody else. You got bullshit in your mind. You got bullshit underneath your bed. You got bullshit in the closet. Y'all are bullshitters. The person watching this video may not be, but you know what I'm talking about. These people who just they listen. Everybody wants to look good, okay? But these people act like they just fucking act like that. The most important thing is right, okay? Because some of them don't give a damn about change. Not if it don't impact them, you know. Sometimes you have to think about yourself, right? But they think about themselves in the most extreme ways, you know? It's an emergency. It's an emergency. We need to hurry up and fucking uh, arrest this development of this individual because, you know, they said a statement that was a little uncouth. They said some shit that was a little, not polite. And not understanding, rather, the context, and that every fucking thing isn't for you. And every little joke or conversation isn't about you and what you think. And, you know, I want somebody to burn somebody's music collection because of something that they did. Listen, if you can appreciate the nuance that I'm filming this video on a phone that was made out of material that African kids suffered for it to get here. Then motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? If you hear some random song by somebody who did some heinous shit, you shouldn't put your nose up every 5 seconds. You can still hate Chris Brown. You can still not listen to R. Kelly, and I can understand where the fuck you coming from. But just because I understand where the fuck you coming from doesn't mean that if I tap my foot to fucking, a two-step song by Kettles, and you catch that, all of a sudden my whole life is supposed to be over. You know? I don't really give a fuck. I don't, but I just think it's silly. I just think we're so silly and we're so determined to catch ourselves in the act. And we that's the funny thing. We're all catching ourselves with our pants down by being, so ridiculously judgmental on every fucking thing that we do. You know what I'm saying? We just have no appreciation of nuance any fucking more. And like as a creative, I'm at a point now where, I just, I just wish, fuck the wishing. I'm trying to be more centered in what I do and not allow all this bullshit in. You know, it's not that I don't want to connect with people, but it's like, it's this philosophy where it talks about stillness, right? The ability to remain still. But it also kind of goes into an area where it speaks about how you get to a place where you just sit there and be in that world, that space that you've created for yourself. And then if something else is trying to get in, whether you want it or not, you can you can you can maintain that space and keep that world together. That's how I look at creativity. Like I have this space that I created, I have this world that I want to be in, and it's not about every fucking political issue in the world that's going on. It's not about how they're going to, receive this in Israel. It wasn't created for Israel. It wasn't created for Palestine. That doesn't mean I agree with what Israel has done to Palestine. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm just at this point now, y'all, where I'm just making what I'm making. I'm allowing the art to be the art. And then back to that point, where you're allowing something in. If you want it in, then it can integrate with what you're doing in some way. It may do it naturally, it may not. Or if it's something that you don't really fuck with, you don't really want that to be a part of your space, you can just allow it to pass through. And that's how I feel about a lot of these super socially political people, that I just need to just let them pass through my days, pass through my life. Maybe there'll become a time where I can connect with that person, but I just I can't be on this. I can't give into all of this pandering and whining going on in society, where these are the same people who they scroll all day like you, okay? They look at the hot chick in the biker pants and lust and think of the darkest extreme sexual things they could do to that person like you, or whatever they're into sexually. Know what I'm saying? Like these people are just people like you. That's it. There's nothing else to them. There's nothing more to, and that's beautiful. You don't have to be more than this experience of being a human being. You don't need anything outside of that, and you don't need other people to like rock with you of a particular group or whatever. Like, who wants to be around a group of people that really didn't like you anyway, and you didn't really like them? You know what I'm saying? Like this idea of tolerance is BS. It's complete garbage because we're not really tolerating people. Okay? It doesn't matter where you're at on the aisle. If you're not like super niche down, like YouTube stuff, or Instagram stuff, you know. And in reality, you notice the people who a lot of times end up being big over the long haul in terms of what they do, they don't follow anybody and they don't put themselves in some tight little square box. So don't expect me to do that politically or socially or anything, okay? And you know, I wouldn't suggest anybody else do it. Because if your whole existence is based on some ideas that was already here before you got here and will be here long after you're gone and don't necessarily reflect who you are, and you don't even know enough about those ideas or have thought them out enough to, you know, act out and live in that way. If it just doesn't make sense for you, don't fucking do it. All right, y'all. Rant over.